Hi, I'm Rosenberg, and today I'm going to be talking about the metaverse and conversational AI as a threat vector for targeted influence. Quick outline, I'm going to start off just giving some definitions. What do I mean by the metaverse, and what do I mean by conversational AI? And then I'll talk about the emerging risks, which is targeted influence in the metaverse. Some definitions. By metaverse, I mean interactive computing environments that provide groups of users with natural immersive experiences in virtual and augmented worlds. So basically, immersive media in a broad sense. And by conversational AI, I mean artificial agents that can hold flowing, coherent dialogue with human users while keeping track of the conversational context and informational goals. Both of these technologies have made very significant advancements over the last 18 months, and both aim to transform traditional computing of flat text and media to natural computing, where we interact with computers very much in the way we interact with the rest of our daily lives. So the metaverse. The key thing about the metaverse is it presents information to the human perceptual system in a form that we were meant to receive it as immersive experiences spatially all around us. This is how we understand our world, it's how we explore our world, it's how we remember our world spatially, it's how we interact with our world spatially, it's how we build empathy with other people with face-to-face interactions, it's how we build mental models of our reality. So it's a very, very powerful medium. And so it can impact us as deeply as real experiences, which means it's also a dangerous medium for targeted influence campaigns. And so we should look at the lessons we learned from social media when it comes to targeted influence. Social media also was viewed as a utopian technology 15 years ago. It was going to give a voice to the voiceless, bring people together, reduce cultural barriers, be this modern public square, and it did a lot of these things. But over the last 15 years, we've seen that it's done a lot of bad things. It's polarized society, spread misinformation, reduced trust in science and facts, reduced trust in institutions, radicalized populations. It's been destructive to society, and it's not just experts who say that. A recent poll in the US found that 64% of Americans think that social media is damaging to society. So why is this? It wasn't, and it's not the technology that causes these problems, it's the business model. And so the business model of social media is selling influence. And so if we look at social media, the business model has driven companies to really optimize two key paths. First, they have become extremely good at tracking and profiling users. They track where you click, what you buy, who your friends are. And they create user profiles to segment populations based on the information tracked. And then they use that to sell targeted influence. They sell targeted ads. They sell targeted other targeted content. They provide targeted news feeds in order to generate engagement. They're selling influence to the highest bidder, and they use this targeting to amplify engagement with their own platform, which creates this feedback loop, this destructive cycle for society, where they increase engagement, which allows them to track and profile better, and they're segmenting populations deeper and deeper. So what about the metaverse? Well, we can assume an advertising business model. Many platforms are already going in that direction. It will be like social media, but much, much worse. And the reason is that the metaverse and conversational AI are real-time forms of media. They're interactive and adaptive, which makes them far more dangerous for targeted influence. So let's look at the metaverse business model. It will be very similar, track and profile users and sell targeted influence, but both of these will be more extensive and more impactful, and it's real-time. And it will allow these platforms to optimize their influence campaigns as closed-loop feedback systems. This dystopian feedback loop that could turn the metaverse into the optimal tool of persuasion. So let's look at each of these in detail. So tracking and profiling users in the metaverse, in social media platforms, this tracks where you click, what you buy, who your friends are. In the metaverse, these platforms will track where you go, track what you do, track who you're with, track where you look. And remember, it's not just virtual worlds, it's augmented worlds. So you can be walking down the street wearing augmented reality glasses, and the platform will know what store windows you look in, how long your gaze lingers. It'll track your gait. Where do you slow down? Where do you speed up? Where is your interest? It'll track your posture and infer emotions and interest. It will monitor your facial expressions. Headsets already do this and infer emotions, track your vocal inflections. It will even monitor your vital signs. Smartwatches already do this, but they're now building this into earbuds and headsets. Track your heart rate, respiration rate, blood pressure, pupil dilation, EEG. All of these things are under development, and all of these things will be used by platforms. So to summarize, these Metaverse platforms will track how you act during your day, and will also track and profile your emotional reactions, how you feel while doing it. In other words, these platforms will monitor your whole life, what you do, what you say, what you experience, what you feel. They will use this to build behavioral models, because they'll be tracking this data continuously, especially in augmented reality, continuously throughout your day. These behavioral models will then be able to predict how you will act in a wide range of situations, and they will also build emotional models that will be able to predict how you will feel in response to a wide range of stimuli. How will they use this information? They will use it to sell targeted influence. So Metaverse platforms, advertising and propaganda, it's not going to be flat ads and videos like today. It's going to be immersive experiences that change the world around you for promotional purposes. And they'll adapt these experiences in real time based on your real-time sensed behaviors and emotions to optimize that influence. So let me give you an example, and then we'll go into more detail. So let's say I'm walking down the street in the metaverse, either virtual or augmented, and I pass a young couple having a conversation about some great new restaurant they went to, or a new car they just bought, or a new movie they just saw, whatever. And maybe I just overhear 20 seconds of this conversation, and then our paths diverge. But I'm influenced by what I heard, believing it to be an authentic encounter among other people in this world. What I don't realize is that it was a targeted promotional experience that was injected into my surroundings on behalf of a third party. And I'm the only one who saw it. It was targeted. Other people saw other things walking down that same street. We could call this a virtual product placement. It was highly targeted. It was designed for me. And by that I mean the age, gender, ethnicity, clothing, and speaking style of that couple was all chosen by AI to maximize its promotional influence on me based on my profile data that was collected about me over time. Even the dialogue between the couple was custom crafted based on my personal interests and values and personality and interaction history. This can influence me deeply because I assume it's authentic, and without guardrails, I may never know that it was a targeted promotional experience. I might just think it was a serendipitous experience of hearing other people. That's dangerous. And worse, this is the metaverse. It's real time, which means it's interactive. So consider this. While I'm walking behind this virtual this virtual couple, the platform could be monitoring my gaze direction, my pupil dilation, and as soon as it detects that I start paying attention to that couple, the platform knows because it can sense my biometrics and be responsive to what I hear. So maybe if they're talking about a new movie, and they mention an actor that I really like, my attention gets drawn in, and the platform might detect it, and so the couple might talk more about that actor, and or maybe when they mention that it's a horror film, maybe my heart rate slows because I don't like horror films. So they quickly adjust the conversation and say, oh well, it's more sci-fi than horror. What can happen very, very easily is I could become an unwilling participant in a promotional conversation that's adapting its influence tactics based on my real-time reactions. And that's the power of immersive worlds and conversational AI. Targeted influence will be subtle experiences that are fully interactive, and it won't just be for marketing movies. It could be for propaganda, ideology, disinformation, anything, and that could be very dangerous. And instead of just overhearing dialogue, it could be more direct. So here's another example. Imagine I'm in a virtual coffee house and a person sitting next to me at the next table engages me in conversation. I think it's a customer, but it's really a virtual spokesperson, an AI-generated avatar that looks like anyone else and has a promotional agenda. And it draws me into a promotional conversation, which starts out pretty friendly, but shifts towards some product or service or idea that it wants to influence me about. And it'll be very skilled. It will have complete access to my interests, my hobbies, my purchasing history, my personality. It will also know if I happen to be on the market for a particular product or service, and it will be monitoring my pupil dilation, my blood pressure, my eye motions, adapting its conversation as it detects my interest level or my resistance. And so what chance do I have not to be influenced? This interactive form of influence could be the ultimate form of persuasion. And so immersive influence, two key methods that would be very dangerous: virtual product placements, which are targeted experiences injected into your world, could be indistinguishable from authentic experiences, and virtual spokespeople, AI-controlled avatars that engage you in promotional conversation, could be indistinguishable from other members of the world. They could have access to your history, your likes, wants, needs, and they could analyze your emotions in real time and adjust their tactics. They will pitch you more skillfully than any human salesperson. And so this means that the metaverse can be this extremely dangerous tool of persuasion and manipulation, tracking everything you do and feel, generating detailed promotional and behavioral and emotional models, altering the world around you without you even knowing it, engaging you with conversation without you realizing it's an AI, and adjusting its tactics in real time, creating this AI-based feedback loop that optimizes its influence on you. And so if we look at this feedback loop, we can look at a traditional feedback control system, but in this case, the input is an agenda from some third party that wants to manipulate you to believe some piece of misinformation or buy some product. An artificial agent is the controller that's going to influence you through conversation. And the sensors are these metaverse sensors that are going to sense not just your facial and verbal reactions, but also your biometrics. And it will continually adjust its conversational tactics to optimize its influence and basically reduce your human agency in this experience. So do we need guardrails? Absolutely. We need interactive forms. Interactive forms of targeted influence is not something that we've dealt with before, certainly not at scale, especially not when it's immersive, real-time, and mediated by AI. And so we need guardrails to protect the public. Concluding remarks: the metaverse will happen. It will transform society in the next 10 years. It could be far worse than social media, and now is the time for regulators to push for solutions to protect the public. Thanks.